Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
Yo, EJ Boxing Live here, running around EJ and the Dan the Man show. We're gonna keep running this thing as long as we can. So we're over here to talk the boxing news. So Dan the Man, how you doing? How you been?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. You know what I mean? We won't talk as much news. I haven't, my YouTube channel, I haven't done as much. Shout out to Fight Doctor that's coming in straight off the bat. You're giving us a shout out. I haven't been over here YouTube for a while, but I'm just letting the news accumulate. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's so much to go through. So you guys stay tuned. Obviously, be entertained. If you're checking an archive, make sure you thumbs up the video. If you haven't subscribe already. Press that notification bell, and also check Dan the Man's channel out. Yo, salute Joe Brown. Make sure you check Dan the Man's channel out. One of the up and coming good channels over here on YouTube. So we're gonna get straight in at the back. Dan the Man, you saw the fight with Joseph Parker and Carlos Takam and the controversy about the stoppage.
You mean Joe Joyce?
Joe Joyce. Who did I say? Did I say that?
You said Joseph Parker, bro. It's all good. It's all good. It's a long day, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan. What do you think about the stoppage, the controversial stoppage?
Well, yeah. Well, look, I know the argument is that people were saying it was premature. But look, I looked at that several times. I looked at the replay. Here's the problem here. Carlos Takam, was he close to getting knocked out? No, I don't think so. But at the same time, he wasn't throwing any punches. Furthermore, he wasn't slipping them. Okay, if he was slipping the punches and making Joe Joyce miss, then yeah, that's a different story. Similar to the stoppage that he had with AJ, which I felt that shouldn't have never been stopped because Takam was slipping and missing all. Taka was slipping and make AJ missing all those punches, and during the stoppage, AJ missed a 3-punch combination and the referee stopped the fight. I'm like, what the hell? All right, but anyways, this situation is totally different because Joyce had like he pretty much landed about maybe 20 plus unanswered punches. And Takam didn't throw anything back, but other than put a high guard, and that's it. So I guess the referee kind of saw the writing on the wall when Takam when he got clipped. I think it was a right. He got clipped and he fell back. He stumbled again. And that's when the referee said, "Okay, that's it. You're not throwing anything back. You're taking too much punishment, and you got hurt at the beginning of the round. You stumbled back. I gave you a chance, and then you took like 20 unanswered punches. You stumbled again after another good shot, and I got to stop it. You know. So again, I really didn't have a problem with the stoppage. It's just that if he was moving his head, if he was making Joyce miss, then yeah, I can understand. Okay, that should have been stopped. He probably would have gotten a chance there, but that's just him standing there and taking all that punishment and not throwing anything back. That's on Takam, and I like Carlos Takam, but that was on him. So yeah, Joseph Brown in chat, good point. Yeah, he just wasn't throwing anything for like 30 seconds. To me, I think that went a little bit longer than in my liking, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like when I'm watching the fight, I think I was actually surprised. Takam, I thought Takam was gonna get in there, do nothing, and get bombed out. He actually came in to win with his training. They came over and they had a good game plan. He was hitting Joe Joyce, and that was surprisingly. Joe Joyce was rocking and rolling, getting hit, and I was like, "Whoa, Takam's hitting him." And it was like, this fight is looking interesting. It's actually can Takam pull it off? But then when Joe Joyce started finding his range, bumming the jab, and you're
Yeah.
right, Joseph Brown. Yeah, it was a good 30-second flurry. Well, not even flurry, just the unanswered punches, like straight uppercuts, everything and Takam wobbled, and he looked like he was gonna go down. And the referee stopped the fight. I think the referee stopped the fight out of two things. Maybe Carlos Takam might catch Joe Joyce and knock him out. That was a possibility. Or you're looking at the possibility that he might get hurt at this point and it's no longer. But I think Carlos Takam came there to put up a performance. In his mind, he actually was trying to win. He's never been stopped before. But at the same time, you look at it like this, right? You look at this. You've come over. You're getting advanced age. Joe Joyce is hitting you. You're not answered punches. Why would you think? Yeah, this is not a world title fight. They're not gonna let this thing carry on if you're not answering the punches. We're in a Corona era. It's not good TV. You put up a great performance, but bruh, you like you was on the verge of getting claps down, bruv. I'm telling you, claps down. And it didn't like to me if you got clapped down by Joe Joyce, he's not gonna let you off. He's not gonna let you. And He was just landing his shots just unanswered, and he wasn't throwing anything back to significant. And going back to the AJ stoppage, yeah, I remember when AJ got stopped, I was like, that was frustrating because AJ was getting very frustrated with that fight, and the referee stopped that. That was an unusual stoppage for real. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it looked like he was going to be the first man to go the distance with AJ, unlike Joseph Parker. You know what I mean? Because Joseph Parker went the distance, but Takam looked like he was going to be the first man to go the distance, and it would have been a big blow for AJ's ego and Eddie Hearn. Like, huh? Carlos Takam, and I think that's what happened in this fight here. Joyce was surprised by Takam and the referee and the people invested, and I think Franron gave the look to the referee. Wait, you better end it now. Just do a flurry, get him out of there because you don't want to mess up the money that Joe Joyce is going. He's a number one contender for out of Usyk and Joshua when that fight happens. There's money in the line, and I think this fight was just to keep Joyce busy. But brother, he looked dangerous, and that's the reason. Could be, but it looked like for everyone else looking, no one really cares. If Carlos Takam understands that you get into a fight with someone and you could hurt them, you go in and stop them. But Joyce overwhelmed you, and I think the referee for everyone made the right stoppage. So I agree with you. I think the referee did the right thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Was anything else on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's at the end of Carlos Takam. I don't know. I mean, he'll still be a gatekeeper for all these other, up and coming heavyweights. He still got, you can tell he still got some miles left on the clock. As far as Joe Joyce is concerned, he has been made the mandatory challenger. So what does that mean? Will the WBO mandate the fight after the winner of Joshua and Usyk? Let me just
Yeah,
say this. I looked at the bylaws and the committee in the bylaw and standard rules with the WBO. They don't have a time frame when the mandatory defense need to be called. So it's under the discretion when they can call it. So in this ideal world, the WBA would be next if Joshua should or Usyk should succeed, right? So the WBA would be next to call their mandatory, but under special consideration, the WBA like to be very lenient. Maybe they will allow the WBO to proceed and call another mandatory. So it's kind of similar. The WBC's called double mandatories before, so I believe in the past. I know some people are questioning that is like, well, what the hell is that all about? And the reason why I think this could be a possibility because Frank Warren at the post-fight interview, has mentioned that they are more likely going to go for that WBO mandatory after the Usyk and Joshua fight. And
Well,
I think their plan is they're gonna that title is gonna be stripped. I'm just being honest.
well,
I'm
well,
just
I, well, I, well, I think they're gonna and Anthony Joshua Eddie Hearn with the money he deserves. They wanted to pay Usyk off, right? They never really want this Usyk fight, right? So
yeah,
they wanted to pay him off. So when it comes down to these belt defenses, Eddie Hearn and them and the networks look, is it worth it? Well, no, I don't want to fight that guy. Just pay him off. And they would have did that with Usyk, but because Eddie Hearn put himself in chasing this Fury fight, chasing ghosts with the Fury fight, they put themselves in a position. My man EJ with the conspiracy. Come on, man. Joe Joyce didn't need to go. Assistance for right word anybody. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Maybe some people were looking at him. Frank Ward, hey, listen, he was rocking him, and it was in everyone's interest, yeah, to get Takam out of there, just in case he catches him with something. I'm just
right,
saying, what I'm saying, that's true. I'm not saying he was, but in their mind, it's like, yo, this is a bit too dangerous, bro. I didn't expect him
yeah,
to be so live because Takam was live in that fight, but
yeah,
yeah. No, in regards to the belt sanctioning bodies, look, Eddie Hearn, he always wanted to pay Usyk off. He never wanted to fight that Usyk fight with AJ, and that's what we're gonna talk about right now. What's up,
yeah,
Fight Doctor? Right, so Fight Doctor back in. All right, so
yeah.
what we're talking about is that the fight has been scheduled for the 25th of September. Tottenham Hotspurs, that's my football team, by the way. And ground stadium and with Usyk and stuff like that. Usyk's been out the ring over a year. It's the longest layoff he's ever been in his life. Mr. Bashir at some point want to come on and talk about it. I don't think he's not too confident about Usyk winning that fight with AJ no more. He's not confident the same. No, Usyk's a bit more flat-footed. He's still got the same endurance. I don't know about his power resistance and stuff like that. But AJ's doing things perfectly. He's having it when he wants to have the fight. He's taking his time, and this would be an excellent thing. You got two Olympic gold medalists in the same year they won their belt. Usyk won at heavyweight, and Joshua won it at super heavyweight. In London 2012, right? So you got both two Olympians. Both you got one undisputed, one unified champion. Both of them, Anthony and Joyce are not undefeated. Everything's on the line. This is what you call a great fight, but no one really cares about it. You know why in boxing? Because Usyk is not at that personality like Wilder or Fury. So but AJ is not like that. Well, so you have a really good fight. But in terms of like build up, no one really cares about it. So this fight is gonna happen, and I'm glad it's happening for boxing. If AJ was to lose the fight, boy, that could happen. It could. But if Usyk was to win the fight, oh my gosh, man! I mean, he's older than Joshua by a couple of years, so there's a lot on the line. Dan the man talking it. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
Couple points. First things first, I think this is actually a very unique heavyweight fight. That's number one. So I guess there's a slight disagreement there. I think there is some more interest for this fight. Now, as far as Fury and Wilder is concerned, look, there are some interest there, but at the same time, given the debacle with Fury and the Joshua situation and the postponement of Wilder and Fury 3, and we all know Tyson Fury is the sole the sole conspirator behind that situation, along with his promoters. I would say sole, but co-conspirator. I think that a lot of people are being sour now, and they're starting to lose a little interest on that fight. So Joshua Usyk would be the next, would be probably. I would say that the focus, the energy has been shifted slightly over to Joshua Usyk after the postponement of Wilder Fury 3, which is expected. So I think that's one. Number two, um, I know people are, Usyk is being counted out because he may be undersized. He's coming up from cruiserweight. He doesn't have the concussive power. I mean, he never really had concussive power anyway. We don't expect him to knock beat guys out with one punch. He's an accumulation puncher. But I will tell you this though, Usyk can punch very hard if he chooses to if he chooses to sit down on his shots. If you don't believe me, ask Derek Chisora, because when he hit Chisora with that concussive right hook in that seventh round, Zora was almost out on his feet when he got hit with that shot by Usyk. So, in my view, in my opinion, Chisora is more durable and has better punch resistance than Anthony Joshua. So, we'll see. Again, we'll see how this plays out. This is the heavyweight division. Thirdly, I would say is that Alexander Khrushchev, that's Alexander Usyk's manager, co-promoter of K2 Europe. He gave an interview recently, and he was asked why was this fight been held up for a long time now, and he said, well, there are some things I can't really discuss, but I will say this though, there was a rematch clause that was involved. We had some, we were going back and forth with it, so we agreed to that rematch clause, and yeah. And then he was asked. Then the reporter followed up and asked, "Well, is that a one-way rematch clause or a two-way rematch clause?" He said, "What I can tell you this: when I'll say this, excuse me, when Alexander Usyk beats Anthony Joshua, which he will, you will see Anthony Joshua reactivate that rematch clause. That's all I tell you. So Usyk's manager and team are very, very confident in their fight. They exude confidence at this point. So they like their chances going in. They believe in their fighter, and Usyk has got a lot of confidence himself. He doesn't seem to be deterred or pressured by the situation. You know what I mean? It's not like he's fought in hostile territory before. He's done it many times. So this is nothing to him. So he's confident in his ability. He even told his manager, I know how to beat AJ. I've known him for a long time. I study his style. I know exactly what he can do. So now, does that mean, is that going to translate into the actual fight? We don't know. But it's kind of like what Emmanuel Stewart said one time, where Evander Holyfield has this obsession of fighting Mike Tyson ever since he moved up to heavyweight. And I remember a time when Don King put the fight together with him and Holyfield, with Tyson Holyfield, the first fight. Emmanuel Stewart one time approached Don King and said, "Hey, Don, I think that's a bad idea to even have Mike go in there and fight Evander." He's like, "Why not?" Because first of all, Evander has been obsessed with Tyson for years. And this is an example. Going into the Riddick Bowe rematch, all Evander could think about was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was locked up, and Evander, and then Emmanuel Stewart had to tell Evander, say, "Hey, look, man, I understand you want to fight Mike Tyson, but let's focus at the task at hand here. You got a rematch with Riddick Bowe, okay? Nobody believes you can win that fight. That's another thing. And lastly, we don't know if Mike Tyson is ever going to come back. We don't know if he's going to come back after he gets released from prison. So my point is that don't underestimate an opponent who's been obsessed with you for years, and he's finally got the fight with you. It's kind of like a Clubber Lane with Rocky Balboa. So just you got to be careful there. And I'm telling all the AJ fans out there, it's great to have confidence in your guy, but don't overlook Alexander Usyk and his determination. Do not underestimate that man. All right. Do I favor Joshua to win that fight? Absolutely. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not confident that Joshua will be. I'm not too confident in my pick. I'm still kind of somewhat 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning toward Joshua. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, my man Joseph obviously got in there. Yeah, look, I'll go it like this, right? I'll go like this. Usyk has seen Joshua close up, right? When
Yeah,
Klitschko's camp, right? They used to have the Klitschko's camp. All the heavyweight contenders used to come to the Klitschko's camp. Usyk's actually sparred Joshua. That's what some people don't even know. He sparred him, and he actually done well against him. Mr. Bashir is not sharing that information, but
yeah,
you know it went down, right? He actually looked good against Joshua, and because of that, yeah, that's what they're building it on. But this is the thing, right?
yeah,
Sparring him, yeah, with I don't know whatever gloves, yeah, big gloves is one thing, right? But then
yeah,
actually having a full bout with someone with them little gloves on in a 12-round fight, which is based on strategy, it's not really blending in. Like Joshua might struggle against certain southpaws, he might, right? But what
yeah,
we're looking at is that when he lands properly with them little gloves, now Usyk, his whole thing is, he's gonna be hard to hit. He's gonna be evasive, and he gonna work Joshua, keep working on Joshua, wearing Joshua down. You know what I mean? Because Joshua seemed like he's vulnerable to punches, right? So Usyk's
yeah.
not very a big puncher at heavyweight, and nor was Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is an okay puncher at heavyweight.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I was going to say that Andrew Ruiz was never a big puncher at heavyweight.
No,
Let's be real.
no,
He's an
yeah, he's
accumulation. He's an accumulation puncher.
yeah.
But to be fair, some people are going to say, well, he's a heavyweight, so he has the heavyweight power. Usyk doesn't have that. I
But
mean,
those,
yeah, that doesn't
but
really matter because Usyk hurt Chisora. He
yeah,
hurt
yeah,
him.
but
He
yeah,
had him out on his feet in that seventh round, just about.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh,
So what we're saying is that Usyk, you don't have to be a big puncher, but he has respectable power. So going into the fight, Usyk's very confident that his skills is going to translate. The only difference is like it's timing. This is the longest time that he has been out of the ring. And his style is based on reflexes and motion and timing. That's how
yeah,
his style is. With Derek Chisora and the opponent, it took him a couple of rounds to build up his timing, and then when it was all popping, and when Danny Rosores realized this guy ain't getting tired, this guy is
yeah,
relentless. And I see the same look on Marco Huck's fight when I was watching that fight as well, because Marco Huck's pretty durable. But then when he got in there, it was like, yo, this guy's not getting tired. As your conditioning wears down, his conditioning goes up. He's got the same kind of thing as Lomachenko. That's what
yeah.
he's built on. He's built on that kind of thing. And now, as you saw when Lomachenko was out for a year, when he went against Teofimo
Tiafino.
Lopez, it took him 6 rounds or something like that to get into the fight, right? So then
Yeah,
this is why I feel with Joshua. This is why, either way they played it, yeah. Maybe Eddie Hearn is probably more smarter than what I thought. Maybe he knew that fight with Fury, AJ Fury wasn't gonna happen. So he thought, okay, let me use that to try and make that fight. Tell the sanction, but I'm gonna try and make that. In the process, I'm gonna make Usyk wait longer than he is, because Usyk's been out the ring for a year. Because the thing is, because the fight would have what's up, Ship? The fight would have been have to make earlier. So maybe Eddie Hearn's actually smarter. And now the actually fight is gonna like it's over a year. This is over a year. Usyk's because he fought in September. Actually, yeah, he fought. No, yeah, he fought in September, so it's actually a year. But Joshua fought in December, so Joshua's like less than a year. He's like 2 months, so Joshua's like 10 months. That's not that bad. That's not as bad as
yeah,
Usyk. Usyk's been out a whole year, right? This whole year it gets competitive. Like he had sparring, but sparring is not like real competitive fights. And if
yeah,
in sparring, sometimes that can when you get in a fight and you're sparring like that, sometimes you have lackluster. You know what I mean? You have rounds
yeah,
where you're not in it, but this is actually a real competitive fight. And Anthony Joshua has brought his camp up. This is the right timing for him. He's brought guys in. His strategy is going to be perfect, and his conditioning is going to be perfect, and he's going to be able to push the pace. Now, Usyk, I'm looking at, yeah, you might be able to slip 1 or 2, but when you start getting hit with Joshua, that's what we're looking at now. Is he going to be able to withstand Joshua putting them hands on him? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
and the way I look at it with Usyk, yeah, for a man who needs his timing, he's going to get himself on all kinds. I think for the first time in his career, he might hit the deck, but if he gets up and he can withstand it like Andy Ruiz,
ah,
and he can make Joshua miss and hit him, Joshua's gonna be in trouble, bro. Joshua's gonna be in trouble. So
I think that's a good point. I think Joshua is not going to rush in it like he did with Ruiz. He's not going to make that same mistake again. He's going to be very, very cautious,
you think
like he
so?
was with Pulev. When he had Pulev in trouble in that third round, he was extra cautious. He didn't want to take
Okay.
any chances to
Yeah.
give the man a chance to throw anything back and get caught again.
Yeah.
Like he did with Dillian White. He tried to finish him, rush him, and then what happened? He got caught.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Good point. Good point.
Joshua's not trying to make that mistake again. So
Yeah.
but I will say this though, that to your point though, it is possible that Hearn probably prolonged this because he knows he doesn't want Usyk to come in fresh, given the
No.
fact he wants to stall his fight, so that way give him, that way he can make
Yes.
him. That's
Mess his timing
possible.
up. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
timing of it. It's possible
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yep.
when in May, that's when the Fury and Joshua fight was called off. It was dead.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, we're hearing now that this fight's going to be in September. Wait a minute. Why so long? Why
Yeah.
are you putting this fight in September?
Yes, because it suits AJ. Because it suits AJ's timing. Because think about it, when they do it like that, it's more suits AJ than suits Usyk, who basically has been left. It's been left. It's like you have to fight when we ask you. You know what I mean? And I mentioned this before. Anthony Joshua's done this before, and then Eddie Hearn. What they do with a lot of them, and I can mention Vladimir Klitschko over a year. There was another one, Michael Sprott, who was out for a year. There was quite a few opponents in Joshua's resume that when they came to fight him, they never fought for a whole year. And then if you're a professional athlete and you haven't performed in a professional ring, a competitive ring for a whole year, bruv, that's the whole heap of ring rust. And that's what we're looking at with Usyk. Because everyone's thinking it's the same Usyk. And you're but bruv, Josh was used to these he's fighting every 6 to 7 months. He's used to that. Usyk's not used to that, you know what I mean? Remember, because now he's the B side. That's another thing as well. You're the B side. You fight when we tell you to fight. So Joshua is well prepared for Usyk. Is Usyk prepared for Joshua in terms of how's his timing going to be? Is he going to be ready to push the pace? I expect Usyk's this is going to be a different Usyk, man. It's going to be a different Usyk. I can see him coming in, moving around, and Joshua's going to say, okay, move around, and I don't care what you do. I'm not going to chase you. You're going to have to fight me, because remember, you have to take my belts. I don't have to chase you. So if you want to engage, this is where I am in it, and that's how the fight's going to be a chess match, It's going to be a chess match. But when they start throwing down, when they start actually throwing punches, the Usyk can hurt Joshua, but I'm looking for Joshua hurting. But it's what can Usyk sustain what Joshua's doing to him? Can he make him miss and make him pay and pull it on him like that with a southpaw thing? Because Joshua's pretty good against southpaws. He was good against Charles Martin. Who else he went against?
Well, that's the only southpaw that I think he's fought on record. I mean, Charles Martin didn't really put up a fight, so I'm not sure we could count that. He was just in there. He was just in there for. I mean, let's be honest. He was there for the money, man. And Charles Martin kind of alluded to that.
I don't know. I don't think so. I was there the whole press conference. I was there. Joshua was so much better than him because Joshua.
We all know that. Look. I'm not taking any credit away from Joshua. I'm just saying. I'm not taking any credit away from Joshua. I'm just saying that Charles Martin's demeanor when he he built the fight great. He came in there supremely confident. But as soon as he got into that ring, it seems like he didn't even want to fight back. He was just
that's bullshit. Yeah. That's bullshit. Yeah. No, he wasn't. Remember, people thought Glashkov was gonna beat him, right? They were talking about this Glashkov guy with Kathy Duva. Everyone thought he was gonna win, so he wasn't even supposed to win against AJ. He just won a fight. He's undefeated. When he got in there, AJ knew they could beat because remember they were both Olympians, right? Charles Martin was Olympian, right? But AJ was a gold medalist. So now AJ's like, well, I can beat. This is what AJ say he can beat Wilder. Eddie Hearn didn't believe. He goes, I can beat him because I've seen him. He didn't even get out of the first round. I'm a gold medalist, right? So, amateurs, what I did in amateurs and what he didn't do nothing. So he bet, he ain't going to beat me. So that when he got in there was just levels to it. And Joshua just did that. And that's what happened. Now, Charles Martin's been better. He's been in better fights and stuff like that. But Joshua's too seasoned. Now, Usyk is well seasoned. Joshua's well seasoned. I think they're going to give each other mutual respect coming into the fight. I think it's going to be a well respected going in fight. And I think it's going to be a great fight for boxing. I think great showmanship and but I think AJ will prevail. But if AJ doesn't prevail, I'm not going to be overly shocked. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not.
Yeah, I won't be shocked if AJ wins too. But I think some people are going to be shocked if Usyk wins. I won't be shocked if Usyk wins. But I will say this though. Like I said though, it's an interesting fight. I can't wait for it to come, to come up. Like I said, it's a 50-50 fight. I'm going to favor AJ, but I'm not going to be too confident in that pick. I think there's something that tells me that Usyk will be able to pull this off somehow, some way. I really think he has the ability to do it, but I think everybody should just step back and realize that this is a hungry man. This is a fight he wanted for a long time. He knows this guy's style, and he knows what he can do. And he studied AJ for years. For years, he's studying him, and that right there can make you a dangerous opponent going into a fight.
100%, I agree. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Dillian White. Will Dillian White ever be a world champion, Dan the man?
Well, I know right now he's Eddie Hearn mentioned mentioned litigation with the WBC. We'll see how far that goes, but I don't understand Dillian the way that he's been operating. Yeah, he's fought top 10 opponents. You can argue say he's got a better resume than Wilder. Blah blah blah. I get that, but why is everybody being oblivious or admitting the information about Dillian White? How many times he's passed up on world title eliminators that he could have been aligned a title shot with AJ in the rematch? He didn't take it. He could have gotten a direct shot at AJ for the rematch, didn't take it. He turned down world title eliminator fights. He's turned down a direct shot at the title, and now he's complaining about being frozen out by the WBC. I mean, come on. He even was offered a final eliminator against Dominic Brazil. Brazil offered that mandatory position to him, and what did Dillian do? He opts out of it and fights fucking Derek Chisora in a rematch. That's what he did. Well, actually, no. I think it was not Derek Chisora. I think it was either Luke Brown or Joseph Parker. It was one of those two. All right.
Yeah.
And then the Luis Ortiz eliminator came up. Right. He was offered that twice. He turned that down. He turned one of them down to fight Chisora in a rematch, which to me, my view, didn't make any goddamn sense. So I just think that look, Dillian White should not be. Let's put it this way: has he been taken? Has the WBC done wrong to him? Yes, absolutely. The way they conduct themselves, I get it. But that doesn't excuse the fact that this man has been past the world opportunity fights left and right so many fucking times. He had.
Drop the F-bomb. The F-bombs. Come on now.
Use my language. Yeah, my bad. Let me retract that. Minus deduct a point from me. I'm sorry. But anyway, how many freaking times has this man has passed up title eliminator after title shot after title eliminator? He's passed that all up. All right. He ducked out of the eliminator with Pulev when they lost the first bid. We all know that. Okay. And he would have beaten Pulev, but he ducked out of that fight. Plain and simple. He did. He ducked that Pulev fight. He ducked the Ortiz fight twice. He ducked the Dominic Brazil mandatory shot. So, he can't sit there and complain that he's being hard done by all the damn time. He can't do that. So, look, again, I do sympathize to some degree, but I'm not going to sit here and be oblivious or be ignorant about the situation with Dillian White. We got to call it for what it is. This man has kind of sabotaged himself when it comes to getting world title shots. He did. So that's my take on it. If you want to add anything on that, EJ.
No, listen, I can't even bro. I like Dillian White, and I like the idea. He say, he wants to be a world champion. But let's get it right. Let's lay down what's going on here. Let's tell be honest. Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn has a plan, right? He said, listen, you're gonna be with me. You go fight Dillian White. AJ does his side, and we can get together and make some money. That's the plan. That's all the plan there along. So Dillian White wants to fight AJ. Not AJ. Dillian White wants to fight Wilder to get the WBC belt, to fight AJ so they can make millions. That's what this is about. And because Dillian White has the A side on his side of the fence, he controls. If he fights AJ, he has to give up control. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. My man says he's a crybaby.
Yeah,
right?
Joseph Brown. Yo, shout out to Joseph Brown in the chat. He made it a good point. Look, Dillian when he fought Povetkin the first time, that was his final eliminator for the mandatory position. And what happened? He got knocked out. He has himself to blame for that. Don't blame the WBC. You had your shot right there. You got in the final eliminator. You had your chance, and you got knocked out. And now you got the rematch, and people are complaining he should be the mandatory again. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. The WBC didn't make that fight a final eliminator. He had a final eliminator shot and got knocked out. That's his fucking fault.
Yeah, that's see, Dan can't help the F-bombs, but
I'm sorry, my bad. That's his freaking fault. My bad.
Okay.
We agree. I mean, That's me
That's cool.
being
That's cool.
inappropriate.
That's cool. Hey, my man WBC Sam, we be capping. That's a new one, you know. We be crooks. I used to
We
know
be
we be crooks, but we be capping is a good one, bro. We be capping, bro. Because yeah, the WBC they dodgy. So let's go back what I was saying. Yeah. So Eddie Hearn had a plan. He goes, you go over and fight Dillian. You go Deontay Wilder. AJ does his side. We make together, make some belts. So that's his whole plan. So then,
Right.
then Deontay Wilder said, "Look, if you want to fight me, fight Dominic Brazil, and then I'll fight you." He says, "Nah, I ain't fighting who you told me to fight. I'm gonna fight. Do what I want to do. I'm gonna fight Joseph Parker. I'm gonna fight this guy, that guy, and I'm gonna fight who I want. And you know, you're gonna fight me. So, and that's his whole thing is to get the mandatory." For the WBC, that's his whole goal, become mandatory for Dillian against Deontay Wilder and fight. But obviously with the Fury fight, because Dillian White realized that I see what Eddie Hearn's up to. He's trying to, you know, they're trying to put me, they're trying to trap me like chess, right? We call it AJ protectors, right? They're trying to put the protectors out here. So, you know, what Dillian White, Wilder said, shit, I'll fight Fury. Build my stock up and get more money, and then you know we can try and get this AJ fight. That's what Wilder's whole thing. So Wilder's trying to get to Wilder's trying to get to AJ before Dillian White gets to him. It's a chase, right? And AJ's like, I'm just being me, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm just cool. AJ wants Fury. That's the thing. AJ only wants Fury. For whatever reason, I don't know why. He just wants Fury. So it's like a merry-go-round, right? So Dillian White had many opportunities to fight Deontay Wilder. He could have fought him time ago, but he didn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. He didn't want to fight Dominic Brazil. Didn't want to fight none of them guys there. Luis Ortiz to get, you know what I mean? He's like, nah, I ain't fighting none of them. So now he goes in there with Povetkin, takes the mick, you know, he winning the fight, knocks him down, he gets knocked down, then he loses the fight. Goes back in there, beats Povetkin. Povetkin looked like a dead man walking on COVID. Now Dillian White's here. He's back on it. Now, apparently, they're putting legal procedures now. I know you guys that they're actually looking litigation against the WBC to get their title shot. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? That's getting a bit too strong.
I mean, look here. I don't know what like they have to stand on it. They have had opportunities to get in that position. They've turned it down. I don't see how this is going to hold up in court. He had the opportunity when he took the Povetkin fight the first time, and he got knocked out. Plain and simple. That's not the WBC fault. And we got Light Evelyn in the chat. Look, he's saying, first of all, you're talking about the Oscar Rivas fight. That was a final eliminator, but the winner of that fight was not going to be made mandatory unless the WBC said so. They didn't stipulate that. Okay? And as far as that drug test is concerned, yeah, he hit that from his opponent. I don't know why people still give Dillian White credit for that win. In the glove situation, too, that was manipulated, too. So I'm not going to give Dillian White credit for that Oscar Rivas fed. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. I can't. No way. All right? That was a tainted victory. You cheated your opponent. He had no choice but to fight you because he was going to be out over $1 million+. What was he supposed to do? You know? Oh, yeah, he was going to fight Brazil. Guess what? Dillian White turned that fight down. You do understand that, right?
Yeah, he did.
He turned that fight down, so you understand that.
He did turn that. He did turn that fight down, but this is the thing, right? Where Dillian White is at the minute. So will Dillian White ever will ever be a champion? Well, he is a champion. He's the WBC silver belt, golden belt, whatever belt, diamond belt. I remember after the fight, he wants his diamond. He wants his. Dan, you're making up a lot of noise there.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah,
you're moving around on the mic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm moving around. My bad. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Like he wants his diamond. He after beating Povetkin in a second goes, "Where's my diamond belt? You got my belt. I want my diamond belt." You want his diamond belt.
That dude, look, these guys are talking about mandatory shots when he was a silver champion, and I had to look at the bylaws committees rules over the WBC and see does the silver champion make you mandatory? No, it does not. It does not make you a mandatory challenger. I don't know why Eddie Hearn and Eddie Dillian White ran with this campaign. I had to look it up. I did a live video on this, and some people didn't like that. I'm like, well, it's the truth. I'm not defending the WBC, but those are their rules. Unless the championship committee they have them within discretion to overrule that. Yeah. That's up to them. But it's within the rules.
He's a champion right now. He's just not a proper world champion. I saw you about the Bridgerweight. I'm not really that's not really like one of the topics we want to cover right now. Yeah, right now the Bridgerweight to me, I don't know why they call it. They could have just called it Super Cruiserweight, and they left it as that. I'm not really like that division right now is like I'm not really on the extra like I don't mind extra division, but it's like there's nothing going on. The Cruiserweight division is dead. the light heavyweight division, like the traditional boxing, like 8 weights they used to have.
No. Well, hey,
I,
Light is in the chat. Yeah, that's a good point. Light in the chat says that White said that he will fight Ortiz if Wilder signs that he's next. Wilder said no, but Wilder said well, White fight Ortiz and I'll fight you next. Well, I don't understand. It seems like you said the same thing twice, but in a different form. I will say this though. Um, Dillian White was offered to fight or the Wilder fight if he agrees to fight Ortiz, which he was mandated to do, and he was going to get his mandatory shot. Wilder promised him that, and you sign a one-fight deal with the BBC. Dillian White was the one who didn't want to go along with that. He didn't want to fight for one-fight deal with the BBC.
no,
He didn't want to take the Ortiz mandatory shot, not once but
no,
twice.
no,
He didn't do that.
no, because he wants control. But this is what I'm saying. Eddie Hearn likes his mandatories, so they want to order. He wants the WBC to order that
Yeah,
Dillian White, and Dillian White would have did that. He didn't have to fight Povetkin, but he wanted to be active. And this is what I'm trying to say about professional boxing in regards to Usyk, right? The professional boxing, they need to be active. That's why Dillian White took Povetkin, but he took Povetkin in a way like, well, the guy's old. He looks old. I should be able to beat
lost
him,
the
and he
step,
did.
so yeah,
But he took his eye off the ball, right? And then he got himself lost, and and then he went back in there. And that was a good fight. The second fight, everyone's watching that, and he came back. But right now,
yeah,
Dillian White realized now, if I make a mistake now, I'm gonna lose everything I work for because I'm right on
yeah,
the verge of getting the fight. But
yeah,
he's realized he's right on the doorstep. The thing's even further away. AJ
yeah.
is fighting Usyk. After AJ fights Usyk, then AJ is gonna sit around and chill. Then the winner out of Dillian White, no, the winner of Deontay Wilder and Fury, he has to sit there and watch that one. Then hopefully he thinks he's gonna get the fight, but no, they might go into a unification fight. So you're still gonna be waiting around. You know what I mean? And like real talk, you're still gonna be waiting around. So wherever you look, is Dillian White gonna be a world champion? Yeah, when he's 60 years of age.
Well, Shizbiz, shout out to Shizbiz. He said, "How's Wilder ordering fights?" No, that's not what I'm not sure if that comment is directed towards me, but no, I didn't say Wilder's ordering fights. All I said is Wilder was going to make a deal with Dillian White. He was going to offer him a fight if he fight Luis Ortiz, which the WBC, by the way, ordered. That's what I said.
Yeah. Yo,
Okay.
my man, Joseph Brown, he got to fight, nonsense. He got to fight some waste opponents just to be relevant, man. He should have left the WBC ranking and went for the WBA, fight that guy, Travis, whatever his name is, and fight him.
Brian. Yeah, they were trying to fight Trevor
Yeah,
Bryan.
because he's a champion, yeah, Trevor Bryan. But again, even if you win that fight, you're not the real champion because AJ's the real WBA champion.
Yeah,
You know
and you'll be mandatory to his belt.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you don't want to be. That's why he's after this was why. Like this whole propaganda, I'm gonna get my shot. You could have got your shot anytime you wanted, my friend. Anytime. Eddie Hearn is a promoter of AJ, and you're with Eddie Hearn. You could fight AJ but if you fight AJ, you're gonna lose. So that's why you want to fight Deontay Wilder, and that's what this is. It's all propaganda to get people sympathy behind Dillian White, and it's working. And and we want to see do we want to see Dillian White versus Deontay Wilder or Fury? Do you think Dillian White could beat? Do you think he could beat Wilder or Fury?
Well, I don't know where he's getting this from. First of all, where did Wilder said that I'm not going to fight? I don't get this. Wilder said he will fight White if he fights Ortiz. And then White says put it in the contract, and Wilder says no. When did Wilder say that?
You said he got it from Sporting Icon.
Oh boy. Well, Sporting Icons, no disrespect to Sporting Icons, but he kind of misinterpreted things. And no disrespect to him. He has done this before in the past, especially when Eddie Hearn said, if I would to offer Deontay Wilder $10 million, I would give him to do it today. And then he made a video talking about Deontay Wilder turned down $10 million offer to fight AJ, which was not true. That was totally misconstrued by Sporting Icons. So, all right, yeah,
all right.
but yeah,
Go
no
ahead.
disrespect to the Sporting Icons, but yeah, you just kind of be careful where you get your information from. All right.
Check your sources. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Yeah, in regards to the Bridgerweight, there's not much on it. It's not really been officially done yet, so we're gonna get. So okay, the WBO.
Well, hold on. Let me hold up before you get there. Light says that Sporting Icon said White said it himself in an interview with him. Okay. Said that? He said no. Okay. Well. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take that. All right. Fair enough. But at the same time, Dillian White has himself to blame, where he's had many opportunities to get a title shot. He can't blame the system. He was given opportunities and he turned them down, and he's failed opportunities with the Povetkin first fight.
That's the fact. That's a whole fact. All right. So the
Yeah,
WBO has ordered a bout between Sean Porter and Terence Crawford for the welterweight world championship. If the no deal is reached, yeah, where 30 days and the purse bid will start. What do you think about this? I mean, obviously, this is the main thing here. Sean Porter is a guy that fights anyone. He's a credit to the sport, 100%. Sean
right.
Porter, he's changed the narrative of people say he's ugly, this, that, the other. The bottom line is, when you fight Sean Porter, you better bring your lunch
Yeah.
packet. You better
Wait,
come to fight.
hold up. Before we go, Light's like, were you spitting hot air? I'm like, well, hey, were you the guy that says AJ and Fury is going to happen at 100% on Rafael Dawkins' channel? Did
Yo,
you say that?
I don't want.
No. Yeah,
Nah,
well, when you said that, then was you spewing hot air? Okay, then. You gotta be careful what you say. But go ahead.
Yeah. Like, we already changed the subject, so there's no
Yeah,
point going back over it, right? So we're gonna
yeah,
move on. Yeah, so they've ordered the fight, and like Sean Porter is one of them guys that you better make sure you've done your training, you've done your road work, because you're gonna be in for a fight of your life. Ask Paulie Malignaggi and ask many guys in there, right? So the WBC, the WBO have ordered this fight, and I'm like, yo,
right,
this is what Crawford needs. Crawford needs a fighter, and he's John Porter's a PBC fighter, and he gave Furman good fights. He's gave
right.
Errol Spence good fights. Kell Brook. He lost his first fight against Kell Brook, but he's gave all these guys really good fights, and he's always a competitive fight. I think this fight, especially for Terence Bud Crawford, this is the fight he needs to see gauging point. If he was to beat Sean Porter or stop Sean Porter, whoa. That's gonna be some shockwave. If you stop Sean Porter, that'd be shockwave. I don't, I
Mm,
don't think, I don't think he will though. I think the fight probably more than likely will just go to the decision, maybe split or unanimous for Crawford. Yeah, but if Crawford is one of them guys that if he can go in and stops Sean Porter, it'd be big. It'd be big news. What do you think about the fight, Dan? And what's the possibility of the outcome of this fight? And how will people read it? Is this a fight that the fans want to see? Is this what we want to see for Terence Bud Crawford?
you know what? This is actually one of them. One of the dream matches that we spoke about for a long while now, other than the Earl Spence and Chance Crawford fight. So, I would say this though. I think the WBO is doing a good job of ordering these fights, man. I mean, they did a good job with the Usyk and AJ ordering. A lot of people didn't agree with that, but it is what it is. They're doing a good job with this one. So the WBO is kind of stepping in and saying, "Look, we got to order these fights." You know what I mean? We got to order these fights, and they gave Castano the blessing to go ahead and fight Charlo for the undisputed title. So yeah, it's refreshing, and I think they're going to reach a deal one way or the other because it seems like the PBC particularly kind of understand the situation for what it is, and what I mean by that is that um, I think that they understand now, given that Heyman's got a new deal with Fox, and I think this has something to do with why they're now making these crossover fights now. Is that Fox, when they reneged the deal and renewed it for Heyman, to get him the dates that he need for his fighters, they told him, was like, okay, you look, I believe that they didn't really were satisfied with the results of their first run with the PBC. So they said, look, we're going to renew. We'll give you a good offer, but you got to give us these crossover fights. We can't rely on these in-house fights anymore. So I think that's what the PBC understands now, and I think they now finally recognize the WBO. So I think this is why I think these fights are happening now because of that deal with Fox, with Heyman. I think that's part of the reason, which is a good thing. The networks have to put their foot down and say, hey, look, you got to give us the fights that the fans want. You got to start making these deals with these promoters. Start doing cross promotion. In house is not working, so I think that's part of the reason. I believe this fight will happen, and I think they will get over the finish line. Now, what network will it be on? I don't know. It looks like from the way things are insinuating, not saying insinuating, the way things are looking right now. Let me say. I think the PBC is going to win the first bid, or they may not even get to that point. They may come to the agreement where it's going to be on Fox. Top Rank will be paid out a certain fee, for their fighter to go on to a rival network to compete to fight. So that's the way I see it. And as far as the winner is concerned, I'm definitely favoring Bud to win the fight. Don't be surprised if he stops Sean Porter. It may not happen, but don't be surprised if he does.
Well, I think the fight will probably be uh, Dan. Yeah, Dan, you
Uh-huh.
will do.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I had to move. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the fight will be on ESPN. I don't foresee out him putting up no purse bid for that to have the fight on Fox and like that. You know what I mean? Sean Porter, to be fair, Sean Porter, I don't know if he's a pay-per-view star, but I think they can make some money or Bud Crawford over on ESPN. And I think Sean Porter's, he commentates on various different platforms. He's got his own YouTube channel. I don't really see a problem with them getting to a decision and getting that fight organized. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I like that fight for Bud, because Bud missed the Pacquiao fight. The Furman fight is way out, you know what I mean? So that doesn't look like that's gonna happen no time soon. So I'm happily for Bud that he's got a competitive fight against a guy who's dangerous and who could win. I don't think many people are going to give him a chance to win, but I like the idea that Bud Crawford is getting a fight against one of the top guys in there, and who's been a durable top guy. He's been a champ. He was just a champion the other day. Spence took his belt, so I really do like the fight, man. I really look forward to it. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? So, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see it, man. I mean, look, again, I got it. You got to, as much as we give these sanctioned bodies grief and flack for their business practices and how they sanction fights, I'm glad the WBO stepped in. I mean, they had the Joshua Usyk order. I'm glad they did that, and because we knew Fury and Joshua was not going anywhere, and even though many people didn't like that what the WBO did, believe it or not, they didn't like them when they did sanction the fight. But it is what it is. It's still a very good fight, and now we got the Crawford and before that we had the Castano and the Charlo fight being sanctioned. The WBO did allow Castano to go ahead and fight fight Charlo before fighting the mandatory, and now we got this fight. So yeah, the WBO deserve some credit here. I think they want to put on the best shows. They're going to pretty much try to show the other sanctioned bodies how it's done. You know, so I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I can't complain. No complaints here from me.
Yeah, 100% for me as well, man. If Sean Paul was ever to beat Terrence Crawford, boy, that would be over. Be one of the biggest. That'd be one of the biggest upsets of boxing, right?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
wouldn't call that a big upset. I would just say, okay, if he does knock out Porter,
what?
I wouldn't call that an upset.
He's pound pound number one. He's pound pound number one. Like
well, you say if Porter beats Crawford, it's an upset.
No, knocked him out, man. Or knocked him out, man. Yeah, it'd be a massive upset.
Well,
massive.
What's the opening betting odds? Is it 3-1 Crawford? 4-1?
Obviously that they're talking about the fight. So when it's made, but he's gonna be underdog. But I'm just saying, like, I think for most people, like, there's not many people going to be giving Porter a chance in that fight, even though we know he's going to give him a hard fight. But, again, Bud Crawford's on his game. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. Caleb Plant addressed Canelo Alvarez negotiations. Canelo was offered the highest guarantee of his career. That's what apparently this is what's reported from Caleb Plant's thing. Yeah, he was to set up and make a 40 mil. 40 mil plus the Mexican TV rights with was it Hennessy sponsors? Oh, it's a drink sponsor. No problem. Oh, this is Caleb Plant talking. Let's fight. Yeah. We gave him everything we want. Revenue. What do you think? Why Canelo turn this fight down, bro?
Well, I'm looking at let me look at this full statement here. So he was offered 40 million guarantee plus Mexican rights with his sponsorship. No problem. Let's fight. We gave that to him. Then we gave him upside on the gate and the pay-per-view revenue. No problem. Let's rumble. It was always agreed that this is a title unification, no rematch for either fighter. Towards the end of the negotiation, they asked for a rematch when they lose. No problem. You can have the rematch as well. I just want the fight. So I question whether this is about legacy for him or money is the real motive. I mean, we've been waiting for him to get done with his wedding, shooting his TV show, his golf tournament, and now he tried to give us everything he wants and more to make this fight. So it seems like Canelo's pricing himself out here. What is he trying to do?
Well, Eddie, he doesn't want the fight, bro. He doesn't want the fight because the thing is, let's be honest with you, bruv. Like, let's be honest with you, right? He's been picking bums, man. He's been picking bums, man. Let's look at some of the opponents. Is Eldridge, Smith. These bums, bro. Like Caleb
I
Plant.
wouldn't say Kyle Smith is a bum, but Yildirim,
And
yeah, I know that.
He's a bum. Like, because I can
Oh,
talk.
come on,
All
man.
right, who's he beat? All right, who's he beat then? Who's he beat?
All right. I know. We could talk about George Groves with a bad shoulder. I get that.
Yeah. Who else? Who? Give me someone else.
Well, Osama Don, but we know he was undersized.
Bro, he lost against John Ryder, and then he got the decision, right? So he's fighting bums, right? Now Canelo, this is a fight where he hasn't picked him. Caleb Plant has picked him, and he's got the network and the backing and money behind him because he believes he can win the fight. That shows me, because I was wondering if Caleb Plant wanted the fight, right?
Yeah.
But bro, with this guarantee and money, why would you turn that fight down? Like, okay, but I know why, because obviously the fight's on the zone now. If they're offering it with that money, that means he's gonna have to break his ties with the zone to go and have the fight on Fox. So why don't you just say that? That's probably why. Maybe it's that, right? But then look, if it's a big enough fight, you can have it on both networks. But I don't think the zone wants that. They go, we want to keep Canelo. If you want to fight Canelo, you got to come over here. It's like, that's some bullshit. So maybe that's the reason why maybe the fight's not happening. I'm just speculating.
Well,
but
I mean, it's possible. But if Caleb Plant is telling the truth from the looks of it, and nobody's been able to rebut what he said so far from the Canelo side, of course they're going to try to rebut it. But this seems very odd. It seems like people are quick to blame Caleb Plant. I'm like, well, he's the one coming out and need to address that because he understands the situation for what it is. That's why he's coming out right now to address it as quickly as he did. He said, look, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say I'm ducking. I'm like, that's not true. We gave the man everything he wanted. We talked first. We agreed to no rematch. Then he wants a rematch. We gave it to him one-sided, and now all of a sudden he wants more out of the situation. He wants to back out.
Yeah. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight him because Eddie Hearn have some bums lined up. That's what I'm saying. Like, and Caleb Plant's nobody. He could probably lose. That's the reason why some guys will look. They go, bro, it's not money for it right now, right? Because he's making money. Think about it. Canelo doesn't need the money. He could, like, Eddie Hearn's got bums lined up for him to knock down, right? And that's what he's going to do. And the Mexican fans don't care. As long as he's knocking over someone, they don't care. Why would he need to fight a dangerous guy for 40 mil when I'm making how much mil? He gets 40 mil every time he fights. About 45 every time he fights. So the really and truly, it's like, I don't need to fight him. He needs to fight me, but I don't really need that. You know what I mean? So I can see why Canelo won't budge. He doesn't need to. He doesn't really need to. And he's still, but they're talking about him and Bert. I think they were talking about Better Be fight, light heavyweight fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that, Canelo versus him, but I don't know if Canelo would do that. But if he's undisputed and he's got the belt, why? What's all the excuses, man? Like, this is what I'm saying. Eddie, since Eddie Hearn is involved in this stuff, there's always these little things in there. Eddie Hearn stopping over. Why? That's what the fans want to see. The best fight, the best. So why are we not getting this done? Like, I don't care. Like, they should just get this done over the line. Canelo should want to be undisputed at 164.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's disappointing that it's come to this point because we heard that they were close. They pretty much were going to sign the deal, and then Canelo comes back with this. I mean, I don't know. Silver is in the chat saying that Caleb Plant is not ready for Canelo. I try to tell y'all, Heyman don't want to put him in there with him. I'm like, well, I don't know about that now. According to Caleb Plant, that's totally far from the truth right now. Because Canelo Alvarez is the one who's acting like a diva here. And it's suspected as an A-side fighter, you're gonna have some devious ways. But if Light was still in the chat, I need to go back to this real quickly about that Dillian White interview. If you can post a link to that interview where he said this, please, I want to see that about Deontay Wilder not refusing to give him a fight unless there was a contract involved. So if you could put that in the chat, I'll take a look at it.
Man, still on.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
You
could, if you could direct me towards that. Anyhow, let's move along.
All right, let's move along. What's up? What's my man? LDUBBB. What's up, Boxer?
L Dub, yeah.
What's up,
L Dub? Yeah, L Dub, yeah.
Oh, what's up, L Dubs? All right. So this salute to you, bro. All right, so let's keep it moving. So we got a big fight happening. We got Granados. Is it Adrian Granados versus Conor Benn?
Yeah.
Adrian Granados versus Conor Benn. And also we got this Japanese guy versus Kamzu versus the UK guy. And the funny thing is the fight's in Essex, in Eddie Hearn's home. He said at home in Essex, and I'm like, bruh, this is everything with Conor Benn, but Adrian Granados, didn't he ever fight with did he ever fight with Adrian Broner? Who did he have a close fight with? Was it Broner?
It was
Somebody,
Broner. It was he beat Amir in an upset. He stopped him and battered him, and then
yeah.
he had a questionable fight. He had a close fight with Sean Porter. You know, he gave Sean Porter fits in that fight too. So yeah, he's been in some very very big fights, and there were some dodgy decisions going against him. People felt he beat Broner. Some people felt that he could have earned a draw against Sean Porter. I mean, I didn't see it that way. I think he fought Danny Garcia too. I think he gave Danny Garcia some problems in that fight. I think they fought. I have to go back and check. Let me check on that real quickly. But anyhow, um, let me see. Let me check real quick.
No, I'm on his thing. I'm looking at this Granados guy. I want to see like so
Yeah.
he lost 2 in a row. He lost to he lost to Robert East.
Yeah, so he fought Danny Garcia.
And he lost to Danny Garcia.
He got stopped by he got stopped by he got stopped by Danny Garcia. He
and then
fought
Adrian
Robert
Broner,
East.
he lost. His first ever loss was Adrian Broner splits where some people thought he won.
Yeah, see, Granados is fighting. Yeah, Granados is fighting between 135 and 147 all the time. Damn.
Yeah. Well, this fight, what's this fight? This fight's at what? 140, 147, 130.
It's 147. Yeah, it's 147. Conor big. He's too big. He can't make 140.
Conor's not really a big thing at that way. Conor's all right, but you see this fight here. The funny thing is that the last time he fought, he fought this year. Fought against Jose
Luis Sanchez.
Yeah, he got a draw. He got a majority draw, right? So his confidence is not the best. But the thing is, the resume is nice, bro. Robert Easter, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Adrian Broner. Come on,
Amir Aman, yeah.
Amir Aman. I even see
Javier Fortuna. I mean, yeah, he's been in there with big names, man. He's been in there.
I saw that. No contest with Javier Fortuna after 4 rounds. Okay,
yeah.
I see that one. Amir Man. You stopped Amir Man. See, the Amir Man is a better boxer than Conor Benn, man. But that's at 140, but he beat him in Canada, right? But bro, he ain't no joke like this old, but he's 31. You know, he got some years on the thing. I think I don't think his confidence is the best. It's the fights in the UK. Can he upset Conor Benn? I think he can, but I don't know if he wants to. I don't know. Is he got the desire to? Is he just turning up for the payday? You know what I
mean? We'll have to see. But Granados usually come to fight, but at this point of his career, I mean, he knows he's a gatekeeper. He knows he's not going to get a world title shot. Nobody's going to put that much money into him. He's just there to make upcoming guys look good. So, or guys are coming off a loss or a long layoff. He's there to make them look good as well. So he understands the situation for what it is. He's a journeyman, a high level journeyman at this point of his carear. So I think
he beat Conor Benn, though. You know.
I think if he was trying hard, he would. But
you know why? Because Conor Benn is naturally right. He when he first started, he was a lightweight, right? Then he ate himself out the division. He went 140. Now he's at 147. He's not really that strong at 147. Arguably, these guys he's fighting are basically at 140, but they're moving up, right? But this guy, even though you say he's a journeyman, right? He won his last fight. He's got ambition. So in my eyes, like, bro, this is a good test for him. For Conor Benn, the guy is sturdy, he's tough, and bro, he gave 8. And a lot of the guys, like boxers, like Conor Benn's a boxer, right? He's not really a fighter. Like Amir Man and Adrian Broner, he gave them hard fights. So if that guy comes in and Conor Benn gets into a boxing, I think he gives him fits, man. I think like late rounds, like from round 6, I think he can start taking it in. I think I'm gonna call upset. If there's gonna be upset this weekend, that's the one, man. That's the upset I'm calling right there. That one right there.
All right, we'll see.
All right, yeah. Hey, do you know Yildridge is on the card as well? I'm looking at the card. They got
Yildridge.
Yildridge on the card against Jack McCullum against the Cleaver boy, and then they got Tom McCarthy against Chris Billum Smith. I don't care about that. But they got who's this Kanzu versus Leafham Woods. I don't.
Yeah, Kanzu was supposed to fight in a unification bout against Josh Warrington. We know that fight fell apart. I don't know what happened there. And then Warrington vacated his belt. We know where his career went and when he did that. So that was a fight that people wanted to see before the pandemic hit. And
this guy's got 3 knockouts, bro. 18 fights with 3 knockouts. This Kanzu guy.
Yeah, Kanzu's not a big puncher, but he's a very good fighter. So, he's got skill. And he may not have the doesn't have it, but he's got the skill. But we'll see how this plays out, man. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, his nickname is the Monster as well.
Yeah.
Why the
Monster? Nah, he ain't the Monster if he ain't knocking guys out like Nyika anyways doing it. Nyika anyways like laying guys out in the ring, really laying them out.
Yeah. We're gonna have to see that one though. But that one there, that Conor Ben fight and the Granados fight is thing. Like it's also it's okay. It's on the zone. So that's coming up this weekend. What
Right.
other news we got? Any other news, Dan? You wanna bring up?
Yeah, it just came into my. It crossed my mind. Damn, what is it? Let me see. No. It was something. Oh yeah, Katie Taylor. I know we don't talk about women's boxing that much. Katie Taylor is supposed to be fighting on that. I don't think this is the first week of fight camp. I know Shannon Court is going to be on that card. I think
Mhm.
Ebony Bridges is going to be fighting there too. But I think it's week 2. Katie Taylor is going to be headlining that against Jennifer Hahn. Now, some people are criticizing that fight because Jennifer Hahn is a natural bantamweight. Okay, all right, she's a bantamweight. She's going up to fight at lightweight against a much bigger fighter in Katie Taylor. And I know
Mhm.
Jennifer Hahn. All right, she's a former world champion. I get it. She hasn't
Mhm.
lost in 4 or 5 years. She just gave birth to kids. You know what I mean? But she's been out of the ring for more than a year now. More than 1 year, and she's going up to fight Katie Taylor. I mean, she was at, like I said, I think not bantamweight. She was a featherweight. I'm sorry. She fought at featherweight, and now she's gone all the way from featherweight to goddamn lightweight. and and she is not physically strong. And Jennifer relies on her boxing ability, so she's got a good jab, but at the same time, she doesn't have the power to hurt Katie Taylor. It's her opportunity. My hats off to Jennifer taking a shot, but I don't like her chances in this fight. I really don't. And a lot of people are looking at this saying, why is Katie Taylor picking on a very small fighter? You know, but hey, remember, Manny Serrano was fought at bantamweight. Okay, I mean, people wanted to see that fight, so what makes a difference? To be fair,
Yeah.
I mean, the Manny Serrano's got power. She's carried her power up in the weight classes. Jennifer Hahn, we don't know. That's yet to be seen. She's not known to be a knockout artist like Amanda Serrano is.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out. What's your thoughts on Katie Taylor taking that fight? I'm not sure if you know anything about that or Jennifer Hahn.
Oh, I know that there's just because Katie Taylor's on the slide, bro. She ain't got much left,
Yeah,
She obviously don't look as good as she was before, but I can see them just fighting in it because the women division is so thin. They want to
yeah,
fight, and Eddie Hearn is supposed to hold on to undisputed champion. Sometimes these
right.
guys don't care. I don't think guys care about the belts. I think they just care about fighting, holding on. We've got this undisputed champion, but the thing is these careers, yeah, boxing, it's like memorable fights. Like, they make names, but when they finish their career, no one sits down. Like up to now, we can talk about the '80s fights and say, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there was some fights, and no one's trying to make history like that. To
Uh-huh.
make fights that we remember and sit back. Actually, I'll be honest with you, the history of the heavyweight division, when Wilder, Fury, AJ, Usyk, and these guys get in, they can make
Yeah.
history, but they need to make more. I mean, the Ruiz fight when AJ lost was the most watched fight on YouTube. Must have been the first
Yeah.
fight. The second fight was the most anticipated fight. Wilder's first fight with Fury was sick. Second
Right.
fight, most watched ever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
AJ versus Vladimir Klitschko. Whoa, Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko. These fights, they're all memorable fights. So people should be looking for the memorable moments, and hopefully the fight I'm looking for. If you're talking about subject matters, because I just came to mind, Josh Warren's rematch against my man Mauricio Lara. If
Oh
you ain't
yeah.
seen that fight, that's my fight, bro. That's one of my great fights of the year. That one
Yeah.
of the biggest upsets of the year. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going back at each other. Like, what's your
Yeah.
take on that? Do you think? I think Josh Warren's gonna run for his life and try and outbox him, but I reckon
Yeah, he's gonna.
he'll
Yeah,
get
that's the
beat.
thing about. Yeah, that's a good thing you brought that up. And shout out to L Dub. He did correct me. Jennifer Hahn, Katie Taylor's on the undercard of Warrington and Laura too, and that's
Yeah.
in September 4th. So
Mhm.
thanks for the correction on that, man. Let me just say this: Josh Warrington knows he cannot stand in front of him. This is like another Andy Ruiz situation with Anthony Joshua. Don't stand in front of the person because you're not going to outpunch him in close quarters. So you're going to have to outbox him. But the problem is the difference between Warrington and Joshua is that Warrington has decent boxing skills, but he doesn't fight on the back foot a lot. He's a guy that always comes forward and put pressure on you, even though he's not a
Mm.
big puncher. That's what he does. That's his style. He pressures you. It makes you spend your energy till you gas out. That's what he does. In this fight, I don't see. I mean, it'll be yet to be seen if he can adapt to a back foot style. But the problem with Warrington is that he doesn't have the power to keep Lara off of him. He doesn't have the power to get his respect, and that's what I'm worried about. You know what I mean? On paper, it looks like he's going to lose this fight because I don't see how he's going to, at this point, doesn't see how he's going to win it. But I won't be too surprised, to see the adjustments he make. But I'm definitely picking Lara. At this point, I don't, as of right now, I don't see him beating Lara. But as the fight does approach, we'll see. I might change my mind afterwards. But it's difficult for me to see what adjustments he can make. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not comparing this to AJ because AJ could fight, both going backwards and forwards. Warrington has always been a pressure fighter. That's his style. And it's surprising that's been his style. He's never been a power puncher. So, I see Mauricio Aurora winning that fight again by knockout.
Yeah. We might as well move on to one of the most anticipated fights this year so far, because we don't know if Fury gonna turn up with Wilder. We hope. We don't. That ain't too confident about that one, right? That you ain't too confident about.
Yeah, let me just say this. I want to make 2 points about that one. First things first. Tyson Fury, he's unpredictable. We know that. Given his behavior recently, man, I am not sure that he's going to turn up for October 9th. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but he does have a legal. This is the difference between the Klitschko situation and the Wilder situation. The Wilder situation that was litigated through the courts, through the arbitrator. That was litigated. The Klitschko situation was not litigated. So there's a difference there. That's why Fury was able to get away with the situation with Klitschko the way he did. But the Wilder situation, that's totally different because the judge ordered him to fight. You have to fight or you retire. Now, if Fury chooses to retire, that's going to be more damaging for him if he doesn't take the fight because now he'll be found in breach of contract because Wilder's team can go after him for that legally. And then Top Rank and ESPN can go after him legally for breach of contract because he owes them 2 more fights on that deal. That includes this Wilder fight. So Fury is pretty much stuck. He could do whatever he wants to try to get out of this fight, but there's no way out of it for him. He can stall the fight because I think he needs more time to prepare. But me personally, I think I'm going to say that he's going to go. He has to go through the fight because of the legal ramifications if he that he'll suffer if he doesn't do it. But if he does not, if he chooses to retire, then it's going to be all worse for him because he will be blackballed by the boxing fraternity. He's going to lose a lot more money than if he had taken the fight, and he's going to be shut out. He's going to be blackballed. Nobody's going to give him another opportunity. So that's just the way I see it.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Let's hope they get in the ring. All right, let's talk about the fight for the ages. Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. When I think about this fight, I just think to myself, listen, Pacquiao, and the funny thing about it, like, I never used to pick Pacquiao. Half the time when he went Ricky Hatton, I picked. When he went against Ricky, I picked Ricky Hatton. When he went against Mayweather, I picked Mayweather. But there's certain fights, that Pacquiao was always surprising. But this one, I'm picking Pacquiao, bro. I think Pacquiao's circumstances. You know what I mean? It's like Eric Morales when he went up to lightweight. And then they told him to come back down to fight Pacquiao after he beat Pacquiao, right? Came back down, and you saw what happened there. Like Spence, circumstances. Like you can't go away if this guy's at a car crash and the man was unconscious, drunk, all on the road, bro. I can't. That's not gonna leave me no time soon. You get me? Like that's what happens. Where's this? I got a Manny Pacquiao video actually. Is it here? I think it's here. I think it's this one there.
Hey, EJ, I'll be right back. All right. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. That song makes me laugh, man. Filipino. Yo, Manny Pacquiao's jokes, right? Anyways, so I can't really get out of my mind, that Manny Pacquiao, taking this fight against Spence, knowing that he's had a car crash, and he was unconscious because he was drinking, celebrating after the Porter win. And his face, reconstruction in his face, his teeth, his nose, you know what I mean? They're coming into this fight like, yo, this guy is not the same guy. It's like when Manny Pacquiao took the fight with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, he wasn't the same guy. His arm, he had injury coming off a surgery, his arm, and he went against Jose Lopez, and Jose Lopez gave him a good fight. And it's like, yo, that wasn't supposed to be it wasn't supposed to. So Manny Pacquiao goes, yeah, of course we're gonna take that fight. And you saw what happened when he got in there. Thurman was talking that reckless, but when he got in there, he wasn't the same guy. Spence is talking that way, but Spence is not the same guy no more. He's not the same guy who rolled up on Kell Brook. And Kell Brook was injured himself anyway. He had circumstances, but that's nothing to do with Errol Spence. And then got nothing to do with Manny Pacquiao where he's injured. We gonna fight. So, if there's gonna be an upset, I'm gonna pick Pacquiao. I'm gonna pick Pacquiao on this fight. I can see an upset happening, Man. That's what we used to say back in wrestling. Yeah, I can see an upset. I can sniff an upset. What do you guys think? You got Spence on UD? L-Dub, you got Spence on UD, right? Okay. What else we got here? Spencer's back, yeah, with a Blu-ray, yeah. His original strength and conditioning trainer. Oh, okay. And he's gonna stop, yeah. These guys, yeah, Spencer's gonna smash him. Nah, that's what everyone was saying. That's what you believe. And everyone talk about, because the only thing we're saying about Pacquiao is this: everyone says his age. That's the only thing we got in it is his age. Yeah, he's old, but other than that, he plays basketball, keeps himself in good condition. They're gonna be upset, bro. I'm gonna put my little change I got. I'm gonna put it on Mauricio Lara beating Josh Warrington. I'm gonna put a little change on Manny Pacquiao beating Errol Spence. I'm gonna put money on Conor losing against AJ Granados. This weekend. I think that's gonna be an upset of the weekend. You go for upsets. I think that's an upset. That's a possible upset. I'm gonna put a little change. You know what I mean? Just to see what's going on that one. But yeah, Spence ain't the same guy, man. He's not. You know what I mean? He didn't look very good against Danny Garcia, even though Danny Garcia was because Danny's a flat-footed. That's the thing about Danny. Danny was the A side. He was picking opponents and he was picking good opponents. I remember when he used to beat Matisse. That was a great win from Danny. But after that, yeah, when he went against Furman and them guys there, it's like he's too flat-footed. Against 50-50 fights when you go against them, there's no guarantee you can win. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee you can. EJ, you bet me $200. I ain't gonna bet you. I don't bet no person. I just put my money down. But I'm just gonna say, like, I'll call the upset. You guys are welcome to come back and say EJ was wrong or whatever. But I can see these little things here. Pacquiao is picking this fight because Spence had a car crash and he's not the same guy. And I saw it when he fought Danny Garcia. He weren't rolling up, man. He weren't rolling. He just wanted to keep out there. And I saw when he fought Mikey Garcia as well. Same thing. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? And he wasn't even injured then, but he just, for whatever reason, he believed that Mikey was better than he was. Like, I don't know. He was fighting Mikey Garcia like, bro, he was scared. I was like, Mikey ain't packing heat like that. Why are you fighting him like that? So Pacquiao is going to be a lot of problems. Like Porter gave Spencer problems. That was a good fight, actually. So what do you think, Dan? What's your take in this one?
Oh, man. Yeah, to your point, Manny Pacquiao's methodical, man. He's not going to take a fight if he knows he doesn't have a chance of winning it. You know what I mean? For the most part, especially at this stage of his career, especially he's at 42 years old. So there has to be a reason why he chose this fight over Spence. I mean, ever since that car crash, Spence, I mean, I kind of beg to differ a little bit. He looked great against Danny Garcia. I know Danny's a flat-footed guy. He hasn't looked great at welterweight. But there were some people who didn't say that he shouldn't even take that fight early on his comeback. Some people thought he shouldn't have fight a guy like Danny Garcia. They thought he needed a softer touch than that. So we got to give Earl credit for that win, especially coming back from a horrific car accident, which could have left him paralyzed. But I will say this though, there's definitely a weight difference there because his weight didn't look the same going into that fight. He looked a little slimmer. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the car accident. I don't know what it is, but he looked a little slimmer. So, but he was getting hit quite often, a little bit too often in that fight with Danny Garcia, even though he didn't get hurt. But I don't know, man. It's just one of those fights that something tells me that Pacquiao could pull it off. And there has to be a reason why Pacquiao took that fight because I think he sees something in Spence that he know he can exploit, especially coming off that car accident. That's probably what he sees, So,
say that again, Dan. You say it again, Dan. You broke up. Go ahead, say it again.
I'm sorry. I mean, there's a reason why I think there's a reason he took that fight. He's taking his fight with Spence because I think he sees something in him that he could exploit, especially that horrific car accident that Spence came from. So, look, if Manny wins this fight, damn, he's definitely, an all-time great. Well, he's already all-time great as it is now. Yeah. But if he could pull this off, man, wow. I know some people are gonna say, well, Spence, he only took advantage of Spence because of that car accident. I'm like, come on, man, no, don't do that. Don't do that to the guy because first of all, you guys were picking Spence to run over him, but if it doesn't happen, and Manny beats the guy convincingly, then don't go back and discredit Manny Pacquiao. Don't do it. Nobody's picking him to win. I'm serious. Nobody's really picking him to win this fight. He's really like a 3-1 underdog going in. So come on. So let's come on. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah. Look, he beat Keith Thurman, undefeated fighter, and if he goes in and beats Spence, he's like, yo, this guy truly is one of the all-time greats. And the thing is, it don't matter what he does. People with the Floyd thing, he can't be better than Floyd because Floyd beat him. But but when it comes to these great fighters, there's levels to great. He is definitely one of the greatest fighters to ever lace them up. Pure and simple. If he can beat Finn, because Spence right now in this generation, he's there. But see, Spence needs Pacquiao, man. He need like Crawford. These guys see like Floyd. Floyd cemented his career when he beat Manny Pacquiao, right? If you beat a man like Marquez, it's cool. Marquez is cool. He knocked out Pacquiao, right? Great trilogy, great 4 fights, right? If you can go in there and you can stop Manny Pacquiao, but I doubt he will. He'll just go. I think he'll just outplay him, go the decision, and stink up. But if you can go in there and stop Manny Pacquiao, my gosh, man. First off, your pay-per-view venue, your pay-per-view, you'll be the number 1 welterweight, you're the number 1 money maker. But I don't think Spence can live up because he gets drunk. I don't think he's dedicated. A lot of these guys, they want this, right? Like he's the truth and this, that. But when they get there, like the Charlo brothers, and we can talk about Charlo brothers after. The moment they get there, they fall off, man. Their focus is, you know what I'm trying to say? He ain't on it. So I question Spence's focus. Unlike Manny Pacquiao comes from the era where Floyd comes from, that era where these guys are just focused on boxing only. Their family, their thing, and they're just focused on boxing. I don't think Spence is like that. He got his kids, but he be drinking like that, bro. Drinking, kissing rappers. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with what you said, man. I just think that if Spence does win, he's gonna go back to his old habits, which almost cost him his life. That's why, if he's drinking, man, make sure he's drinking minimal. I don't think he should be drinking at all, especially he's a fighter at the stage of his career, in his prime days of his career. So I think if he does win this fight, it could be detrimental because he's going to be a guy who's going to go in there and he's not going to have that. He's not going to have that hunger. He's going to sit there. He's going to party a lot. He's not going to be disciplined. I mean, Errol Spence blows up in weight as it is already, before the accident. He's never been that quite disciplined. Let's not get it twisted. But if he does win the Pacquiao fight, he's going to feel like he's on top of the world, and rightfully so. But then that becomes detrimental, like Marvin Hagler once said, and I always keep repeating this line, and it's a fact. You become complicit or complacent, once you're in a position of, making multi-million dollars per fight, and you live in a 5,000 square foot home, you live in, you're sleeping in silk pajamas in a nice big king size bed. It's very difficult to be motivated as a fighter. It's very difficult to be motivated. So, I look, man. I'm picking Spence to win the fight. He should get through the fight. I'm not saying comfortably, but he should win it. But if Manny makes this fight interesting, which he can, and he hurts Spence and he knocks him down a couple of times, man. Oh man, if he hurts Spence pretty badly, which Pacquiao is capable of doing, then I mean, where does Errol Spence go from here? I think he still has a career. One loss doesn't define you as a fighter. Sometimes that can make you a better fighter after that loss. So, I don't know. L Dub says I disagree. What does Spence, being a rapper, have to do with him fighting in the ring? I think he's talking to you, EJ.
Spence always I know he's talking to me. I said kissing a rapper.
Kissing a rapper.
Yeah, kissing a rapper. Yeah. Hey, listen, you gonna pick your guy. You're gonna pick your guy. Like now, I'm just trying to say, like after the car crash, he's still playing around, acting like he kissing a rapper, like joking around, playing around. I just don't question his dedication to the sport, like the guys before him. Keith Thurman, he for whatever reason, a lot of them guys, and I don't know what it is with some of the American guys. Some of them talk that walk, but not many could walk that walk. Now, the truth is the truth, man. You know what I mean? Like whether he believes it or he's in a situation now, bro. He's in a situation against a real live dog. You know what I mean? He old, but but he can still fight. And we want to see, what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit there and box him and say, I was smart, I went in there smart, or you going to go take that old dog? You going to take that old dude's heart? I would, brother. He goes in there. I feel he can win in many ways, Spence. But the ways that most people want him to win I don't think he will do that. But I feel that Pacquiao has got the means to pull it on him because there's no expectation of Pacquiao. So if he starts looking good, it's almost like the Carlos Takam thing when he went against Joyce in the weekend. Like no one gave Carlos Takam a prayer, but when he got in, they started going, oh, that's how we're gonna be with Pacquiao when he starts hitting Spence. Like, oh, he hit Spence. I can't believe it. He actually hits me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so hey, listen, that in that aspect, all Pacquiao do is keep the fight close. And you know what I mean? So, I can see Pacquiao winning the fight, bro. No hard feelings. That's the way I see it. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, no hard feelings there. I look, if Pacquiao wins a fight, we got to give him his respect, man. He definitely needs to be up there as far as being him top 10 all time great. I mean, that's up for a debate. I don't think he should go in there, but he definitely in the conversation for top 15 if he could pull off this win.
Yeah, top 50. Top 50. Hey, Spence beats him. Spence is on the way, bro. Spence is on his way. That's he needs a Hall of Fame win on his resume that the other guy, his contemporaries haven't got because Floyd's took it and ran. So you need a Pacquiao. There's no Marquez. Pacquiao's the last one left because other than that, if you beat the Marquez, then you can kind of build your thing. Furman never did it, so you need that, and then you can solidify yourself. And then going into the Crawford fight, you've got all negotiations going your way. That's the reason why the fight hasn't really happened because Crawford again doesn't want to give up no negotiations. That's why these fights don't happen. When you're a boxer and you're a professional boxer with all the money you got, you control what goes on, the glove size, as you've seen, this, that, the ring, and all that. That's what Spence does when he comes in. So Crawford does the same thing, right, with his team. They control everything. So basically, when you go against another guy, you have to give up rights. That's what Pacquiao did when he fought Floyd. He had to give up rights. That's what it is. You have to listen. Floyd's your boss. You know what I mean? Only thing you gotta go in there, you just gotta whoop his ass, right? But that's how it is, and that's what it comes down to. Marcus Madonna, you see how they just turn it. When you can't. It wasn't a problem about the gloves. It's just like I just want to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? We got Mr. Boxing today. I ain't seen Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Boxing today, man. Dude, you gotta start making videos again, man. It's been a long time, brother. You gotta start making up. Yeah, you gotta start making those heavyweight videos, man.
Yeah, I can see where it doesn't though, because ain't nothing popping. But what's his read out his comment then about Manny Pacquiao? Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Boxer today says that Manny isn't the typical old guy who's hanging around. However, youth usually win these type of matchups, so I'm picking Spence to the competitive 116, 112 type of fight. Yeah, fair enough. I'm kind of leaning towards that result as well, but who knows, man? Look, here's the one thing I think Spence should not do. He made the same mistake that Keith Thurman did early in the fight. Try to stay toe-to-toe and think you can outmuscle Manny Pacquiao. That's not going to happen unless you try to rough the fight up and make it dirty. Even so, you're giving Manny Pacquiao probably one of the only chances to win the fight is stand in front of him toe-to-toe and let him give off his shots because you're not going to outpunch Manny Pacquiao. That's not going to happen.
No.
So Spence going to have to do what Floyd did. Stay away from him. Don't give him any chances in the mid-range. Give him angles. Bottom line, don't stand in front of him. Just give him angles and you box and move. Box and move. Tire him out. Wear him out. If you could get him out, then go get him out of there. But at this point, don't give him any chances early on in the fight. Do not stand in front of him. You box your way. I think that's what they should do. Derek James and Errol Spence, as far as their strategy is concerned.
I think so as well. I think the Mr. Boxing today come back. What you gonna say here? Spencer has established his jab. Yeah, he needs to establish up early. Yeah, if he doesn't, Manny will be able to throw a high volume. Yeah, a high volume, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm expecting. This, and he hits hard, man. And they're both southpaws, so it's going to be very interesting to see how because Spence, Spence. As soon as you hit him, he goes to war with you. You know what I mean? He goes to war, so you can almost see that fight. And arguably the best fights of the year. We don't know about. Furman. We don't know about Fury and Wilder, but we definitely know this fight's happening. We know these guys ain't gonna pull out. Hey, hopefully they don't get no corona. Hopefully there's no corona going on because Spence trains in his ranch, so there ain't no corona going on down. And Manny Pacquiao, he keeps his camp proper tight. Hopefully, there's no corona. Stopping this fight, and this fight goes ahead. We were talking of there was another fight coming up against Gombos versus Teofimo Lopez, but I don't really care for that fight because. That fight, them sort of fights, it's like you're supposed to win. I need fights where, this is interesting. Like this fight here, Pacquiao thing, it has something in it to make us feel like, well, maybe Pacquiao's got a chance. You know what I mean? There has some
Right.
ingredients that maybe this guy can turn this, maybe this guy can win, this old dog can win because he just. I mean, when's the last time he lost? I think the last time he
Right.
lost was Floyd, right? No, last time he lost Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn
Yeah.
was the last guy. That was a long time, and even that fight I watched, I watched it like again recently. I thought, you know what? I thought Manny Pacquiao might have won that fight. I think, I think people were so shocked that Jeff Horn done so well. That's why they gave it to him. And this is what I'm trying to say when you're the favorite. So all Pacquiao got to do is keep the fight close, and most people might think Pacquiao won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, most people believe that it was a close fight. It could have gone either way, man. I thought Pacquiao won it, but it was no situation where it was a robbery. I mean, it was a close fight. It was 7-5. It could have gone either way, in my view. But a lot of people are looking at the fact that the way Pacquiao dominated that, I think it was the 9th round or the 10th round, where he battered Horn. I mean, Horn looked horrible after that round. He looked bad. I mean, you can arguably give Manny Pacquiao a 10-8 round based off that beating he gave Horn. So I think that's what people were basing that on, how he felt that he got robbed of the decision, the way he battered him at the end. Credit to Jeff Horn, he held on. He found he had the survival instincts, but yeah, he took a bad beating in that 10th round and so on. So yeah, but anyhow, Joseph said, look, Spence jab is the key and the body punching will help him win the fight. Yeah, absolutely. But he can't stand in front of Pacquiao while doing it. He's going to have to give the man angles like Floyd did. Give the man angles.
Yeah, but the thing is, like to try and fight Floyd, he's a southpaw. He's gonna be iffing, but that's the kind of strategy you want to use. I was gonna say to Pacquiao, if he wins this fight, he should have a rematch with Jeff Horn and finish his career. Because I think if he fights Jeff Horn now, he's gonna batter Jeff Horn right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think Jeff Horn can make 137 anymore. He's too big.
Well, but he been battered. He ain't got nothing else going on. So just give him enough time. Rematch, and then go out. And Pacquiao could go out. His career.
I think Jeff Horn is retired though. After that Tim Tszyu fight, I think he's done.
Tim Tszyu battered him.
Yeah, I know.
Tim Tszyu battered him. But hey, listen. Everything's on the marbles. If Spence wins this fight, Crawford got to come see him. You can't go nowhere. You got to give up. You got to give up on negotiations, man. The man's got Hall of Famer. He's got 2 belts. You only got 1. But the thing is, this is the only way he can. If he goes in, if Crawford goes into that Porter fight and blows out Porter within 3 rounds, my gosh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, if both of them knock out their potential opponents, right? So Spence knocks out Pacquiao, and then Crawford knocks out Porter, and people will be dying for the fight, man. I'm telling you, they'll be dying. But the likely harm where both these fights will go to the points, Or listen to this one: Pacquiao and Crawford Spence gets upset.
Pacquiao, you said crap, yeah.
Hey, Pacquiao. Hey, no, Pacquiao beats Spence. Crawford loses to Porter, and then Porter and Manny Pacquiao fight. That's a possibility. I'm sure they will have no problem fighting. You know what I'm saying? So anything could happen in boxing. That's why we watch the fights. Dan the Man, it's been a pleasure having you over. We're gonna do Dan the Man EJ Boxing Hour like every now and again, probably 2 times a week, depending on what the schedule is. So we're looking to do more of that. Dan, anything else you want to add in the show?
Yeah, you know what, man? I think we kind of cover everything as far as the boxing news of boxing is concerned. So yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on. Oh yeah, before you go, what's your take on Eddie Hearn coming out saying that realistically we can make the Fury fight in February of next year?
The Fury fight, Fury and AJ, AJ. I need to leave that alone. I don't want to hear nothing from him, bro. I don't want to hear nothing from him. He's lost all credibility in regards to predicting or anything like that. He cried wolf too many times. I don't want to hear nothing from him. In fact, I think he's starting to struggle with the zone contract. Like, I don't know if you guys know, he's got 3-fight deal with the zone. Most of the fights are in his back garden. They're in his house. Yeah. And the reason why they're in his house to save money, because with Sky, because he's no longer on Sky, he hasn't got no platform. So he's like, I don't want to pay money for another platform, for another base. So how about we just come back to my house and we have it in my mansion? I think he realized, leaving Sky Sports is not cracked out as much, because with Sky Sports, they had a platform, they have studios, you can use this, you can use that, they have venues for you. But as he realized with the zone, they don't give you no help. They basically give you money and you got to sort it out yourself. You know what I
Pretty
mean?
much. Well, I mean, that's what Eddie probably wanted. He wanted full control of,
Yeah, it's got it. It's
staging the,
stressful.
staging the events together, the staging the events. But you do
Yes.
realize it's not as easy having full control as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he's staging the shows, he's booking the venues, he's doing all that. He has 100% control of the
Yes.
production rights. I get that, but yeah, to your point, it could be more difficult as he thought it would be. So, I mean, Eddie Hearn's got to learn things the hard way. That's the way he's operated for years. You got to learn things the hard way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, some people are looking at that and saying that, are you looking past Usyk with AJ, and you think Fury should look past Wilder, because that right there is a mistake to do that for both of those fighters.
Listen, potentially grey hair for Eddie Hearn. My man, salute to Mr. Box of the Day. He said he catch the show later. Salute
Uh,
to us guys. My man said, King
uh,
King KO. He said, yeah, Manny Pacquiao's gonna beat the brakes off Spence. Yeah, Spence is too basic. Yeah, see,
well,
he
we'll
got another
see.
one. Hey, hey, let me tell you something. If you're a the Pacquiao fans are gonna be back on this thing, boy. They're gonna come for a last what you call it with the curtain closed? Last
Yeah,
hurrah. That's what it is called, the last hurrah.
the
They're
last
gonna be back.
hurrah. Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna be on it talking smack, bro. Eddie Hearn's got the biggest budget, yeah, with the zone. He got the biggest budget, but he's an accountant at heart, so he doesn't want to spend the money. That's why the fight's at his house, his mansion, so he doesn't spend no money. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be accumulating money without actually spending money, and that's why the fight is at his mansion. But these fights, particularly,
Well,
they're
you
not.
don't you think it also is due to the fact that of the initial success of Fight Camp last year, because they had a huge rating success over that. So he
That was
wants to
his,
do.
yeah, but that wasn't, yeah, but that was all done with Sky Productions, man.
Uh,
This is his own production now. This is what I'm saying. Like, and what he's done, he took some of them guys from Sky and making the production. So I expect it to be, similar, more or less similar in terms of the production and everything like that. But the fights,
yeah,
to be
hey,
fair,
but this time they're allowing a little bit of a crowd, more of a crowd there. Isn't that correct? Or it's going to be
oh,
the same format?
that's you know what, that's a good point. That's true. That's true. Well, I guess they are maybe friends and he's rich friends and stuff like that. But I look at Eddie Hearn. I'm really looking at the contract with the zone and looking at it and
Yeah,
thinking. I still think to myself, leaving Sky Sports, like one of the premier platforms in the UK, to go to an unknown platform. Which we over here we play 199. I don't know if that's a good idea, man. But right
yeah,
now, I'm right now the value for money in terms of the fights. I mean, what you got here? You got Kanzu versus a UK fight I've never heard of, Latham Woods. You know what I mean? Then you got Granados versus Conor Benn. These are not. If Conor Benn wins, it's like, okay, yeah, so what? You win.
yeah,
You know what I mean? These are not breaking it. These are not mad fights, man. You know what I mean? The biggest
yeah,
fight we know is AJ versus Usyk. That kills it because that's in a stadium, right?
yeah,
So Eddie Hearn has that AJ in his card, but if AJ was to lose, wow, Eddie Hearn, man, he's just
yeah.
not a
That
Pacquiao
will
fan.
hit. That will
My
hurt
man
him.
said, he's not a Pacquiao fan, but he's a bad style matchup for Spence. Okay, my bad. Sorry for
I
calling you a
mean, it's
Pacquiao.
possible. Yeah, it's possible if Spence to sit there and try to overpower Manny Pacquiao and try to trade with him like Thurman did, and that's why
Mm,
Thurman got hurt early by making that mistake. So, trying to overpower Manny, overwhelm him. First of all, that's the type of fight that Manny Pacquiao wants. That suits his style.
mm,
So, yeah, Spencer's gonna have to box the guy. He's gonna outbox. He's gonna have to outbox him and establish the jab early. That's the only thing he has to do.
100%.
The
Dan,
only thing. Yeah.
yeah, Dan, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna call it a night, boy. Hour in, boy. Hey, by the way, the US boxing are doing pretty well. The UK boxing, doing all right. We lost a couple of guys. There was a guy that a biting instance in the Olympic boxing. Someone bit someone actually.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the New
I saw it.
Zealand fighter. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
who it was, but
yeah,
yeah.
he bit someone in the fight. But there's some real good. Some good fights. There's some fights coming up in a bit actually. And then the USA basketball team, the men's team, in the prelims, man. Yo, bro, they're not America in basketball, even the women, yeah. Cause I watched them versus Nigeria. They lost the
Uh-huh.
first quarter. there's a lack. The way NBA plays and the way they style of play because of the rules, it's really affected the game. They don't play defense properly. They don't play defense how they used to do. They don't play aggressive basketball where you get fouls and stuff like that. They play a very laxical game where it's more based on scoring than it is on defense. And the other teams in Europe, they still play basically defense. Working low post and stuff like that. And America's basketball game, man, it looks like I don't think they're going. I'm not too sure they're going to win the gold medal this year. What do you think?
They ain't got no chance at this point. They keep getting destroyed by teams they're supposed to beat.
Yes,
I don't know
Australia,
what.
Nigeria.
Well, the U.S. is. I mean, overall, the U.S. Olympic team and all the other sports is just doing very badly, man. I mean, even gymnastics, which they have that
Yeah.
squad over there with Simone Biles. I mean, they're even doing bad, and Simone Biles had to even pull out. She pulled out of the at the Olympic trials, so she's not competing this year's Olympics. I don't know because of the new protocols, the way the protocol setup they have in Tokyo. Because down there they don't have COVID, so they're very 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 strict on how the protocols work over there. So maybe
Simone,
the
is that the gymnastics you're talking about? But
yeah
she competed in the team gymnastics, but she kind of her scores wasn't good. Like she was carrying her team in the scores, but another country they just clipped her. Otherwise, I think it was a team thing, but individually, I'm not too sure. I think she might have pulled out, but she said she got mental health problems and stuff like
yeah
that. Yeah, I can see a lot of stress on her because she won the gold medal. Maybe he wasn't expected you, but when you win a gold medal, they expect you to win it every single time. You know how America is. There's a lot of stress on you, a lot of pressure on you to perform that again. But as we are in the Olympics right now, great sports. I mean, I watch it right now. I'm watching the swimming right now. I'm just waiting for the boxing to come back on, and we're getting some real good bouts, women and men. Backwards and forward. We're looking for another Clarissa Shields. We're looking for the next up and coming American, UK, or whoever in the world fighter. There's actually a fighter from the Dominican Republic. He actually got a knockout. Nez is over the moon. This kid is really good, like he knocked some guy out in the first round in the first couple of minutes. So, we're really, really interested in Olympic boxing. We'll probably Dan could probably watch the finals if you guys around. But Dan, last few words. If you got a show, Dan, tell us when you're gonna do a show, whatever, so people can come over and subscribe and go to your show. Go ahead.
Well, we're going to. Well, I'll probably have a show obviously this week. Probably on Friday over the weekend. So that'll give me enough time to get things together and catch up on a few things. So yeah, so you can just look for me. Just type in my name, Dan the Man Boxing, in the YouTube search engine, and you'll find my channel there. Just go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying my best to be as active on uploads and live stream as much as I can be, but please bear with me, people. You do have to understand I have a life that's more important outside of the YouTube than it is, that needs that requires attention. So yeah, again, thanks for having me on, man. It's it's a good show, man. Yeah, we definitely got to keep this going.
Yeah, we will 100%. I realize we leave it long enough. There's enough topics to bring in and things so we can just cover various topics like we just been doing. I'm probably doing coming into next week. We probably will because I'm like you. When it comes to the weekend, some of the fights like they're on so late, whatever. I can't carry them, so probably the best if we carry them in a week, and we got so much to cover. No drama. Usually always have other hosts. We come in, we're always fighting to argue our points. So with me and Dan, we just nice and amicable discussion. Dan his points, I put my points, and you guys in the chat. Thanks for coming over and chipping in. So we really appreciate all you guys in the chat. All you guys subscribe. If you're on archive, you're watching this. Then, like I said, your thumbs up, press the notification button. Make sure you subscribe. Check out Dan the Man's channel as well. And yeah, we're gonna keep popping. We're gonna keep doing this thing, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, no problem, man. All right, peace.
Take care, man. Take care. Peace out, guys, in the chat. Thanks for coming over. So I'll catch you on the next one with the EJ and Dan live boxing show. You all take care. Peace.